What's up, my Finan loves? It's Miss Finan D coming to you all from Vinantimate News. Now, if you have seen the Kevin Senior interview that I posted late last night, early this morning, then this part is going to make sense to you. Towanda responded to some of the things that Kevin Senior had to say in his video, and she brought someone on to clarify some things. Now, some of you might be like, Towanda, this conversation isn't meant for us. What are you doing? But if you are on Instagram, maybe at this point she and her team have deleted majority of those comments and block those people because she doesn't play. But the comments are nasty. The bullying is out of here, okay? So Towanda coming on here to not only promote the show, but to defend herself, provide clarity, I completely understand. Like I said in one of my other videos, people are behaving like this situation is unique to just the Braxtons. Family have disagreements. Sometimes people say things out of anger, and then when they're done and they have calmed down, they apologize and to each other. People reconcile and they moved on. And so Towanda and Tracy were cool way before Tracy even got sick. So if I see one more, Tracy called her a snake. My goodness. Okay, yes, Tracy called her a snake. We get it. But she and Tracy also apologize to each other and they move on because they are sisters. And sometimes you might have ups and downs with your family. You have a conversation and you move on. So she's just simply trying to clarify some things and clear her name. So I'm going to jump around and go straight to those places where the conversation took it there. And then I might leave everything in one video, or I might come back and do a part 2. And just in case you didn't get my dry sense of humor, I don't care if you're commenting Tracy called her a snake, okay? Go ahead, comment freely. Don't be like, oh, she said in the video, if I hear or see Tracy call her a snake one more time, comment as you please. But that's the top comment that I keep seeing. That's the reason why I said that. But let's get into what Towanda had to say.
Hi, everybody. I have my glasses on because I can't see. I need readers on, so I am waiting for my honey bunny, and we have a surprise tonight. Hey, honey.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Very, very handsome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you look very, very handsome, honey.
Thank you.
Very handsome.
And you?
Like I'm gonna kiss you.
Well, come on with it.
Let me kiss you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, honey.
Your skin looks amazing.
Why, thank you. Thank you, dear. You look handsome.
Thank you.
Dear God, you look great.
Thank you. It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse or better?
Or better, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you look very handsome.
Thank you. You look beautiful. Look at your skin. You got a filter on, don't you?
Does it look like I have a filter on?
Nigga, you know you got your cheeks is red.
I have blush on.
Bro, do you have a filter on?
No. You can't do a filter on this thing.
You can't do a filter on this thing. My name's Towanda.
More minutes. Yes, my birthday is coming up.
It's coming up.
Erica Gabby's on. It's her birthday.
Oh, speak. What's up, baby?
Honey, it's her birthday. You said you were going to call her that on her.
My bad. I got to wait till 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey, Erica. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Honey.
Yes.
You ain't got no filter on. Tell the truth.
No, I don't have a filter on. This is what I look like every day.
I know that, but this looks a little different. I mean, your skin look like that all the time. I mean, you go to the gas station. Well, not the gas station because you don't go put gas in the car no more. But I'm just saying, whenever you around, people be like, her skin.
I have amazing lights on, too. I have these lights, I have this light, and I have the ring light that I packed.
Okay.
So my light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my light is amazing.
You're looking good, honey.
Thank you, honey.
Very edible.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's skip right into the hot topic of this Instagram live. I just wanted to give you all a behind the scenes of their relationship. They come on, they laugh, they compliment each other. It starts very relaxing and cool, as you can see, and then they build up to the hot topic. They just don't get in here and then let's go in, let me defend myself. It's not all negative or nothing like that. So I just wanted to show you all that side before getting to it. Quickly, he did not have that toothpick. Nope, he came on, no toothpick. Someone wrote in the comments, where's the toothpick? So when you see it and you get annoyed, just know that it was someone in the comment that brought it up.
She is. Hey, Denise! Everybody, here's Denise.
Daggone toothpick, man. Oh, I'm going to go in your house and then take all of them, burn them.
You coming to
find another ever.
You coming to jail? Hey, Ray.
If I can burn on his toothpicks, yeah.
Hey, Denise.
Why you coming on here talking crap about me and I ain't saying nothing but nice things about you?
Hi, Sean.
Hello, Denise.
Hey, Denise. So we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there was this situation that happened.
There were a lot of situations that happened.
It was a situation that happened, and it was a lot of discrepancies that wasn't true. So, Denise.
Yes.
Hi, Molly. So, Denise, I have to ask you a question.
So,
are you ready?
I'm not sure, but go ahead.
So, there has been... So let me just go back. For those of you who've been living under a rock and hadn't been watching the show or who doesn't know who Denise is, let me just tell you again. Denise has been around the family since I was 12 years old. I dated a brother. She dated a brother. That's how we met. Then we went to college together, and then she was my line sister.
Her back?
Yes, my back. and then we were Tracy's dean and AD for the same sorority. I moved. Tracy and Denise became really, really close. Denise was Tracy's caregiver. So Denise was with Tracy a whole lot. Tracy is the godmother of Denise's daughter. Okay? So, exactly, Ray. So Denise knows, she's been around the family. She knows a lot of information, and she has been quiet until today.
I'm going to see what you asked.
Denise, so my question, look at Sean. So my question to you is this, Denise. What were Tracy's wishes? What did she share with you?
That's the question. Yes.
Exactly.
Directed. Share it with me. I don't want to talk about any hearsay,
Exactly.
What
did Tracy specifically share with you prior to her transition in regards to her funerals, wakes, celebrations?
So she didn't want anything. She said that straight out. She didn't want anything.
Hey, Mary.
She wanted to be cremated immediately, and she wanted us to take her with her everywhere we went. That's why we all got these necklaces. Like, that's her. We take her everywhere we go. That's what she said she wanted. Now, did she have conversations with other members in her family regarding what they'd like to see to celebrate her? Yeah, absolutely. And she would ask me about those and talk about those as well. There was conversation that, both Kevins actually wanted to dress her one last time. She said that. Pick out an outfit.
One last time.
And so she still didn't want it, but she understood that.
But one time.
When she was having conversations with me, she understood that, but she did not want that. And it's interesting because the will has been, it's public knowledge at this point. Like, nobody has to really kind of guess what her wishes were. She put them in writing, and anyone can go to a courthouse and request a copy. Like, it's right there.
So my question to you is, I just want to clarify. You're saying that she said she just wanted them to be able to dress her one time for one viewing.
No, she did not say that. She said she understood. She did not really want it, but she understood that they did.
Okay. So you're saying that she said she understood if they wanted to dress her one time for one viewing. That's correct, right? How many viewings did she have?
To my knowledge, it was 3.
Okay.
I was not there. This is second hand given to me from those who work at the funeral center. But to my knowledge,
it was 3.
Those of you who missed the interview I posted on Kevin Senior, I have linked it in the description below. But she's saying to her knowledge, it was 3. She wasn't there. This is secondhand information. And Towanda is saying 1. Now, let me just insert a short excerpt of that interview and what Tracy's husband is saying he did and what happened.
When we had the services for her, one thing I didn't do was I want to clear this up that I did honor what she wanted, and we did have conversations outside of other entities and other things, and I understand there was things that were written, so that's cool. Respect was given. Oh, yeah. But one thing I do is I knew my baby. I knew her like I knew almost myself. Matter of fact, because like when she departed, I felt like part of me left. But with saying all that, I'm saying this. I want people to understand that I did honor her in reference to I gave her one viewing. The viewing I gave was just for the private parties, the private individuals in the family to whom she wanted to be there.
What I'm getting from this is whoever the people in between that went back and said 3, okay? That's the issue. Because this man just came on here, Tracy husband, Kevin Senior, just said he had 1. And then based on the conversation we heard before, what he said, even though Tracy did not want to, she understood what her husband was trying to do and was willing to do 1, even though that's not what she wanted. However, someone went back and told the family that 3 went on, someone from the funeral home. So between the funeral home and people talking, that's where the miscommunication is, because he's saying 1, the caregiver is saying, even though Tracy didn't want to, 1 was accepted, but in between there, people running back and saying 3. So that's why I'm saying, listen, let Tracy's soul rest in peace and let this whole thing go. 3, 1, it's done. Someone passed away and she wanted this show to come back about her legacy, all of you legacy and all of that. I don't think this is what she meant when she said absolutely go ahead and do the show in my honor, to be over here arguing. Okay, I get it. You're upset that she didn't want a public viewing or she didn't want a viewing at all. I get it. But it happened and it's done. Life is too short. You all know that because you lost Tracy. So focus on that and move forward. I pray for healing for the family, but we're over here arguing about 3 and 1 when someone lost their life, and you all can communicate and move on, because once again, life is short. There are people dying and we're arguing about how many viewing and funerals and all of that. However, I get it that Towanda is simply trying to clear her name, to say most of you are watching my reaction on a show, calling me a liar and blaming me for something when my family and I were simply abiding by our sister wishes. However, her husband of 20-something plus years and 30 years in total together is over here saying, well, I know my baby and I talked to her, so just let it go. And I'm praying for healing because it's a hot mess. But something else happened. Kevin Senior had to clarify But before I insert the clip of him clarifying, let's hear what the girls had to say first.
And it was also a discrepancy, Denise, about Daddy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
What's unfortunate, Denise? What happened?
That I don't understand that part myself, because if there's a list, you would, by default, in my thinking, put the family on the list, even if you know they're probably not going to come. It's by default. But that I wasn't there for that again. But Dad said himself to us, to me, I tried to go, and they said I couldn't. I wasn't on the list. And Sheba from the funeral home had to come out and get him
To let Daddy in, because he wasn't on the list, and neither was Mikey. So they had to make sure that Mikey and my father was on the list.
Did Mikey go, honey?
Yeah, Mikey went.
But they initially went up and they was like, you can't come in because you ain't on the list.
Their name wasn't on the list.
And I opened it up and I had a list. People used the narrative. I want to say that they said that my father-in-law couldn't get in. Let me clear this up. That funeral home, my father-in-law went to many services there. And I'm going to say this. His mother, his father, sister, brother, all these individuals went through that same funeral home in Baltimore. Tracy made sure she connected to them, even when I didn't want her to, because I wanted her to finish going through the process of us making sure we exhausted everything.
Although this conversation shouldn't even be happening, apologies should happen and people should move on, all he had to say, he as in Kevin Senior, was his name was on a list. Okay, what I'm getting from what he's saying is because his father-in-law been to the funeral home so many times and he knows the people because of his mother and other people who passed away, and he used the same funeral home, he felt like his name didn't have to be on the list because people at the funeral home would have let him in anyways because they know him. But that's not how it works. They have rules. And if the rules are, if you're not on the list, you can't come in, because if everything was cool in the family and you were supposed to be here, regardless if it's your daughter that this service is about, if your name is not on the list, your name wasn't placed on the list for a reason, and we're not going to let you in, even though we know you. So all he had to say was he was on the list. It was a lie, not his mother, his sister, his cousin. And that right there describes their communication in a nutshell. Someone said, you did this. I didn't. He was on the list. Next. Or he was on the list. And let me tell you why he was on the list. Not because his mother, cousin, sister, and whomever else went through that funeral home. That means he can just walk in any time. Like, oh, they know me over here. I can just walk into any room and walk into any funeral. Even though this whole conversation, like I said, is petty at this point. It happened. It's over. Let's move on. Yes, I get it. People are hurt that someone went against Tracy's wishes, but it's done. What can we do to heal and move forward should be the conversation. So let's continue.
Georgetown was the primary hospital. The Cancer Institute of America, I was working with them to get it to go down there. I wanted to exhaust everything that we had. John Hopkins, on and on and on. What I'm saying in a nutshell is this. Everybody can say what they want to say, believe what they want to believe, and that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. And I did say the other day that I love my in-laws, as I do. Because what I got from them helped me become the man that I am today. And I want that to be understood. My father-in-law, I remember his first sermon I went to. And I loved him from that day on. My mother-in-law, I watched how she poured into that family to the best of her ability to give them the light that they had. Respect. And that's what drew me to that family. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to speak on what me and Tracy went through at the right time. And all I'm saying in a nutshell is, I knew who she was. I spent more time with her more than anybody on this earth. Anybody. And with her, doing the things the way she did it, I understood the legacy that she wanted to put out there. And that's cool. All I want everybody to understand is I knew my wife.
How long was that marriage?
The marriage was 26 years. We were together 29 and some change.
My point. Where in that conversation did he simply say he was on the list? That's it. If someone is saying one thing and you are here to debunk their lies, and the question is a list, my father-in-law was on the list. The man talked about his father-in-law, mother, cousin, sister going through the funeral home. Then he goes into where Tracy went to the hospital, his father-in-law first sermon when he was preaching, what his mother-in-law poured into the family, how well he knew his wife, and they were together for almost 30 years. All of those things are beautiful, Kevin Senior, and thank you for sharing your story. But then back to the question at hand, where is the answer to that question? So it's not funny. It's just one of those nervous laughter where it's like you went all around the world and you didn't answer the question. Was he on the list? So my answer that I got from that is because his father-in-law is well known within that funeral home, and this was a service for his daughter, he did not think or feel like he had to be placed on a list because it's obvious that he's welcome and invited because this was his daughter's funeral. That's the answer that I'm getting from that, when he could have just simply said yes or no, the end. But anyways, my point, that's the issue with the family. People can't take accountability, can't say yes or no, can't communicate effectively. You ask a question, they go in circles and talk about everything but what you have an issue with. And I am praying for healing. Let's get back to Towanda, her fiance, and her friend.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, dear.
When she... All right, let me just say this. When I'm asking this question, I'm not asking this question as like someone who doesn't know what happened. Denise, you were there with her pretty much 24 hours a day. You would take breaks to go home and shower, do your affairs, and come right the fuck back. Like you wasn't at the movies, you wouldn't go to the club, no vacations. You was there the whole time. So when she said one last viewing, did that mean like a funeral or just for the people?
No, she didn't want any of that. And she struggled with that when we would talk. Again, this is just the conversations between she and I. She struggled with that because she understood that there were people out there who cared about her. Call them fans, call them other people who were friends. You had a sorority, she was an Eastern Star. Like she had sisterhoods. In addition to her blood sisters, and she knew that those people cared about her. She was in. Now, this is my belief. She just didn't want any drama amongst any and everybody taking place, and her best way to mitigate that was to say, "Well, don't nobody do nothing. Just take me everywhere you go. Listen to my music. Remember the good times, and keep it moving." But she was very clear when she said she didn't want anything. She was
Nothing. Clear. I would also say that I'm going to intervene and say that when she was talking to me and the sisters, what she said was, if we have to give her a celebration, she understands, and she would want it like the way that we gave Lauren. But we didn't have no funeral. We didn't have no viewing of her body. Ever. because she never wanted that.
It was very intentional to wait until her birthday to do something, because there would have been some form of acknowledgement of her birthday anyway. Right. If had she continued to survive, and so that would have taken place anyway. But in terms of a memorial, she didn't want it. So, we had to adhere to those wishes, no matter how much we wanted to do something for her. She said no.
Thank you.
She said no. And she did have multiple conversations with multiple people. I don't know what happened in those other rooms with other folks. I can only say what she told me. She did not.
But let's just put this out here too. When she started her will thing, this was before she had diagnosed of knowing anything was wrong with her. She was completely like in her own mind. She was like, I'm completely healthy. Let me get my affairs in order, blah, blah, blah. This was not a last, a Hail Mary at the last minute.
No.
Also, even in her last day, she was still talking to and meeting with Antavius. So at any moment, she could have been like, no, I want 3 funerals. I want this, I want that. Yeah. He was talking to her every day. So if you talk to Antavius and you hear what he has to say, he's not wavering. He was not. She was like this. She was back and forth. Like she might have said that and talked to to Denise like this. But when they came to putting the contract together,
it was very
very straightforward. Very straightforward. And let me just tell you something about Antavius. Antavius ain't gonna fabricate that situation. He just ain't. That's just not Antavius. And like he said, he has evidence of he and Tracy having conversations. Tracy asked him to film the conversations, and he did. In the event something like this happened. So
listen, Wanda, you were at the reading, correct?
Of course.
It clearly said, because we could go back and forth about hearsay all day long. When it was read, it was what it
was. It was what it was. It's really what it was.
We can't change that. And she was very, we would have conversations where it's just she and I, and she would ask questions like, what do you think I should do about this? What do you think I should do about that? Like the question about Lil Kev. You think he can handle all of this? He can handle all of this, right? Like she was looking for those assurances. So she was she could have planned an entire celebration. It was like, I want this person to speak for me. I want this person to sing. I want this. She could have done all of that. She didn't want to do any of that. She didn't want any of that.
Nothing.
She could have done all of that. There was time.
She didn't want that. Nope. But let me just go deeper in that. Of course, we weren't going to go against Tracy's wishes. However, we didn't know any information until somebody else told us that they were there.
Listen, I get people wanting to do stuff for their loved ones. I'm not judging any way, shape, or form what people's choices were. I just know that that's not what Tracy requested, because she said that to me directly.
She was very, 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 very direct.
Yeah.
And she was more than direct. Tracy, she had a whole outline of what she wanted and what she didn't want. And she was consistent. She was very consistent with the things that she wanted, and she was consistent with the things that she didn't. Period.
Yeah, it's interesting for people to think that everybody has the same recollection because everybody's related. Like, my last name's not Braxton. I don't have no dog in this fight. I can just tell you what she said, which was she didn't want that. That's all.
That's it. And that's when you put lipstick on.
You know I had this on from going out in them streets earlier today. I'm waiting to take it off so I can go to sleep.
You be up in the streets, Denise?
She was today.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about you being in the streets.
We really don't have to.
She was.
So are you saying you was in the streets, or are you saying you're for the streets?
She was in the streets today.
See, right there. Yeah, right there. This is why I don't come on these people's lives.
Well, I just would like to say that, there's so much stuff that we could say.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we could talk about. There's so many things that we could expose, but we're deciding not to do those.
It's not going to edify anything.
It's not. it was just important that we clarified that part of the situation. You know what I mean? It was important for that part.
Can I clarify some other stuff that I've seen online too? Sure. Because I saw like a couple folks were like, how she tell when Tamar was saying that she didn't know at a certain point, and someone was like, how she tell her best friend and not tell her sister? Let me tell you, she did not tell me. I pushed my way in. Okay, I'm one of them friends that if I'm loyal, I'm showing up, and she wasn't responding the way she usually did. You know, you call Tracy, if she can't answer the phone, she texts you, I'm busy, I'll hit you right back. And, you know, she wasn't responsive. She started sharing some of my motivational videos. She would start sharing them and liking them more. And I'm like, okay, why is she trying to encourage herself? Something's going on. And finally I hit her husband and he was like, no, you need to just come in. And I came up. And that's when she told me. And I was like, all right, well, he worked overnight. You don't need to be here by yourself. I'm coming. She really didn't have it. I didn't give her a choice. Right. So it wasn't that the fam that I knew before any family. I did not. The family knew. I was a friend that showed up, and she needed the help and welcomed it, and I was there.
Well,
she knew it was awesome. She knew.
Well, let's be clear, Denise. You're more than just a friend. You family. Well, you see what I'm saying? You've always been family. You know what I'm saying? And everybody on this live and beyond, and who's been watching and who knows about their families as well, that they're always individuals who aren't blood related to you. That's family. Yeah. And that's just what that is. That's just what it is. Because you have blood relatives that may not show up for you, but you have relatives that's not related to you with their DNA, and they show up for you, and that's still family to me.
But she loved y'all so much. I don't want anybody putting it out there that she did not. She informed people how she wanted and when she wanted, but she didn't seek me out to inform me before anybody else. I figured out what was going on with my sister, and I went up there and I helped her. That was it.
That's it, and that's all. And people don't, like you said, Denise, there's a lot of things that people don't understand because they're only able to see a small shutter of what happens in their lives together from the show. But, I mean, what you know to be true is... What you know to be true is we were all, I mean, of course, some of us were a little tighter and closer than others. However, we were thick as thieves.
Yes.
Like we were tight.
Everybody had a role. Everybody had a role. Everybody had a role. Tony really does think she's a doctor. She really does believe she is a physician. She was the orchestra conductor, kind of moving everybody around, man. She really does fill that role very well.
1 second. Let me answer this person's question. This person was like, how come we all weren't in the room when Tracy transitioned? Well, we were on FaceTime with Trina. That's what a lot of people hasn't been clear. But we were all on FaceTime when Tracy transitioned. So some of us had other situations that we had to attend to, which Tracy understood before she transitioned. But even before she transitioned, as Denise can sit here and tell you, that we were there every single day. We were there all the time. Like, all the time.
That's my biggest regret. I've gone in therapy about that mess right there. Because it was snowing that day. And I said, and it was a storm that was passing through. So I was like, I'm going to wait for it to pass and then I'm going to go. And she was gone. So I wasn't there. And that after being there for 9 months to not be there at the end, that's
right. But that was other things that played into that too, Denise, that we don't have to discuss.
That just hurt me.
You get what I mean? There's others, but that was a lot of things are beyond your control, to be honest. Because there were other situations that happened that we don't have. Like I said, we're not going to divulge all of that because it's nobody's business, because that's family business. That prevented you from doing that.
Yeah. That's just the thing. That's the thing that I carry. We all carry our own little things in relation to this, but that's the thing that I carry.
Right.
There's so many questions I want to ask, but I'm just not.
We'll let you know if we can talk about it online and offline. That's what you say.
No. Oh, nope. because I know too much.
Right. You already know more than most.
I know.
Like,
I know. I know
what would
more.
You have to ask at this point?
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. How about that? And I'm gonna let y'all speak on Tracy and what happened and what transpired, and I'm gonna let y'all tell the truth. Well, I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna let y'all tell the truth that y'all are willing to share right now, because this little live right now is probably 8% of the 100% that y'all not talking about. So
less than that,
right? Because honestly speaking, what it really, another part of it is that we're not here to bash. We're just here to tell the truth. So there are a lot, like you said, there's a lot of things that transpired. There's a lot of things that we are not willing to share or divulge because we're still protecting the legacy of Tracy.
Yeah.
That's really why we hadn't really said as much as we could, out of respect of that. And then because we're not those individuals that would just be like, all right, let me just tell you this, 1, 2, 3, and ABC. We're not going to do that. However, it is important that the things that we are capable to talk about, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's just like another little thing that has happened is, listen, just because you sign a contract doesn't guarantee that you have to be a part of something. Let's just say that.
that's fact.
That's another jab at Kevin Sinian. If you watch the video I posted previously, his interview, he said he had a contract. He signed up for the show. Everything was all set for him to go. And then the other executive producers, the sisters are, they said absolutely not. And he said, okay, sure. He felt back. Production called him and said it's a no-go. And he completely respect and understand. And so the reason why I'm not including that clip in here is because I already included other clips. So then what's the point of me even doing that long video and posting that interview if I'm going to keep including the clips in here? So if you missed it, just go ahead and watch that video. I have also linked it in the description below.
The only time you sign a contract, and even then, even if okay, let's just talk about the Braxton show. If your last name is Braxton, when you sign a contract, it's because you signed a contract to do a service. Now, if your last name is not Braxton and it's something else, when you sign a contract, what you are agreeing to is the terms if you show up on the show. You are not guaranteed nothing. They could be like, we gonna pay you $60 million an episode, right? And your last name is Jenkins. You sign the paperwork. How about they never call you for all 8-10 episodes of the season? Well, that don't mean that they owe you that money. It just means that if you would have been on the film, if you would have made it to the show, then they would have paid you your money.
It's all of it is just a possibility.
Right.
A potential.
Right.
You can't get mad over something that's just a potential. And like he said, the words is if. And all it is a release.
It's a release.
That's all it is a release. That's it. In the event.
Right.
If in the event this happens, if you're chosen, or if. I mean, there's a lot of that. So it's no guarantees of this is what it is, period. That's
Towanda nephew did come on with some good news. And they also clarified some things. But I'm going to do that in a separate video. I attempted to keep everything in one video, but it was too long and it's taking the software forever to upload. So I'm going to have to end this one here. I'm wishing the family healing. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.